Hello, and welcome on into another episode of the Whiskey Crusaders. I'm Will.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Matt.
Today we're going to be talking about Basil Hayden and their 10-year-old rye.
Yay. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and click on that little notification bell. Matt, why don't you tell us a little bit about some Basil Hayden here?
All right. Well, Basil Hayden was an actual real person. He was from a wealthy Catholic family. That his family moved here in the 1660s to Maryland because of religious persecution in England. And eventually, when Basil came around, and they moved to Maryland, because obviously that was a Catholic colony, he actually supplied the colonial army during the Revolution. So that's pretty cool. And so then eventually he led over 100 Catholics from 20 different families through the Wilderness Trail in the Cumberland Gap into this place called Bardstown, which obviously is now famous for multiple distilleries in Nelson County. So while he was there...
I'm sorry, hang on to interrupt you real quick. Are you telling me he won Wilderness Trail? Well, he didn't get dysentery and die? I can't...
That's Oregon Trail.
That was Oregon Trail. Okay, sorry. Wrong game.
Oh.
That's the noise you hear when you lose at Oregon Trail. Screaming. That's what happens when you get dysentery, apparently. So... All right, then. Back to this. So, of course, it became the bourbon capital of the world, which is, where there's Jim Beam, Willett, Heaven Hill, Barton, a whole bunch of other lovely brands you might happen to know today. So he was also the first one to use a high rye mash bill, which was, because he obviously in Maryland, he made rye because that's what was the predominant grain then. And so he was over to why would we do that? Well, because he knew how to use rye. And so he mixed the corn with it. And so he had a 28% rye, which is very high for a rye and a bourbon. So that's what's his claim to fame. That's his bourbon. His bourbon was a 62, 28, 10. Now, of course, today is the rye. But he also was donated all the land for the first Catholic church west of the Allegheny Mountains, which is pretty significant, and the first in Kentucky. But that's pretty cool. And his grandson Raymond made this other brand called Old Granddad, and his picture's on the front. But we'll talk about it when we review Old Granddad. Nice. All right, so this one here is part of the obviously it's part of the small batch collection, which also has Booker's, Knob Creek, and Baker's, and that's all. Of course, all bourbons is the rye, like I was saying. So. Now, it is 80 proof, which all Basil Haydens are 80 proof, which the one is on that plan. But, hey, whatever. It is, you got to start somewhere. But it's Basil Hayden.
I was just about to say, hang on now.
Basil Hayden is what got me into whiskey back when. It was the first one that clicked for me. And then I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a starting
point. Before I went on a rampage.
And she quickly adapted to proof after that. Uh-huh. But I feel like the 80 proof and the ridiculously smoothness of that bourbon,
absolutely,
was part of the reason that she had that click moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's true.
So
for sure.
Let's not knock 80% just because we prefer things a little bit higher nowadays.
Oh, I just meant compared to the other three in the collection, because the other ones were all 100 plus. Yeah, they're all 100 plus.
Yeah.
So, just comparably speaking, it's just an interesting, here's the small batch, and here's this one that's 80, and here's these are 100 plus. It's just, one doesn't seem like the others, but, whatever. Yeah. Different story. Okay, so the weird thing about this one is, on their website, it basically doesn't acknowledge that it exists. It's just really weird. Basil Hayden website sucks.
You have the bottle right there, though, right?
Yeah, this is the bottle.
Did you make that label?
I did. With this cool
dude, you fancy
belt, I put around it is really sexy.
Look at your crafty skills.
Yeah, my crafty skills with the big green label that says 10 years on it. Yeah, no,
it's an excellent printer too.
Yeah, I know. See, look, I learned how to print. But yeah, it has the cool little. I don't know.
I wish my bottles looked like that.
Yeah, it's the T-shirt label. Yeah, that's what I call this. It's a bottle T-shirt.
It's a neat label. It's a really fun design.
Yeah.
But picking it up, it's easy to tear though. So just to, forewarn, be careful if you have one of these.
Be gentle if you're okay with ripping the label.
So we know it's 10 years old. Do we know the mash bill on this guy?
No. We know a little bit. I do know some things on it. We do know that it's at least 51% because it's a rye. They do use a lot of corn in it. And you can tell when we get to it that it's a lot of corn. Yeah. As far as it goes. Now, the regular version, which it's kind of interesting how they take a 4-year rye and then they stick it into quarter cask for 7 years and then they take it out and they blend the regular 4-year rye with some of the small parts of the 7-year and put it together. So it's very interesting how they make it. So we assume it's probably a similar process, just because what it is, and I'm figuring it's close, and we'll compare the 10 and the regular one. But they'd have to all be 10 years when they did that, though.
Right.
Got a 10-year age date. But yeah, they're really weird on this one. But yeah, they decided, hey, let's put the bottle out and just put nothing out there. And sent it to no one, anything. It's interesting. So, it is what it is.
It's weird.
They're going to save on marketing by letting us review it.
But yeah, so that's about all you can find on it. It's odd that that's the way they did it, but hey, whatever works. We're here to let you know what we think.
Yeah. Well, right. I mean, it is predominantly rye in the glass.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely new oak. I can smell corn behind there as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get a lot of straightforward dill on the nose. I get a lot of mint on the nose, but it's not, at least not yet.
Yeah,
it's not very dilly on the nose to me.
Apples and like apple juice, like
yeah, but like a cider.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, ciders. Yeah, it's with the mint and the cider. Yeah, that would make sense.
Apple cider with the mint sprig.
Totally. But then it's also got like the uncooked dough and a little bit of the anise with that old bubblegum wrapper and let's see, cinnamon.
Classic,
some vanilla, tobacco leaf.
You find some cinnamon and black pepper for sure.
I can get behind the cinnamon. It's almost like taking that cinnamon stick and sticking it in the apple instead of the mint. Yeah. Warm apple cider.
It's like a kid sitting in like little league with that big league chew, sitting in the dugout. That's what it reminds me of, like sticking your nose in the bag of that shredded up bubble gum.
The grape or the original?
The original.
Because that makes a difference.
That makes a big difference. Yeah, I do not smell any grape in here.
I was gonna say I don't either.
I smell the bubble gum.
But the grape is the bomb.
It's more that powder coating on the strip of the gum, right?
The gum itself. It's that powdery.
It's that powder, exactly.
Yeah, you get that on other types of gum too, like the fruit stripes.
Yeah, whatever that residue is.
Keep it from sticking to things.
Yeah.
Gum residue.
All right, I'm going in.
All I can get.
It's pickle on the palate. Pickle on the palate. Yeah, it's got the mint back there, and I can get the cinnamon and a little bit of the pepper, but it's pickle forward on the palate for me. And I guarantee I'm going to go in and smell it, and because I've tasted it, it's going to be pickle forward on the nose now.
That might be true. Yeah. There's a nice spiciness to this. Mid palate to finish to me was very dominated by a nice black pepper ding. That cinnamon kind of turns into this nice black pepper about mid palate, and then finishes nice and spicy.
It really does have a spice on it, and I think that's a little bit of like the cinnamon for me as a spice. Not like if you were to do the cinnamon challenge. Yeah. And it's just in the back of your throat. I have not done the cinnamon challenge, but I can,
imagine that
feeling from smelling the cinnamon from my cupboard. But the apples there as well. It's not horribly pickle forward, but it is pickle forward.
Yeah. I'm still having a hard time finding dill on the nose, even though I did have it on the palate. There's a mint.
It's hidden.
Yeah, there's a real bright, high-pitched mint note that I'm finding.
Yeah, it's very sweet. It is very minty. It's got that cinnamon and nutmeg. It's got also some like allspice, a little dance, more of like a tinfoil bubble gum. This is more the tinfoil rather than the big league chew on the taste for me.
Yeah,
that black pepper and a little bit of hints of the oak. You get the oak. I think the 10-year shown up was getting that oak char, but it's also got like an unlit cigar and a mushy, almost rotten apple kind of getting on there.
Yeah, I'm getting that tobacco
wrapped in mint leaves.
I'm getting like a nice cigar wrapper.
The dill's there on the nose now for me, but it's further back in the nose. It's not right up front.
Yeah, so yeah, it's like I said, sitting in your chair in elementary school and chewing on a pencil. It's that wood, when you chew on a pencil as a kid, and it's got that little bit of metallic.
Pencils. I chewed on pen caps. Not pencils.
To me, the dill came out.
Oh yeah,
much more prominent with the drop.
The water.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I haven't tasted it yet, but
oh yeah.
I'm pleasantly surprised. I actually really like this.
It's not horrible for a rye.
I like the fact that there's still quite a bit of flavor going on, even at 40%.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I was really prepared to shit all over this and that it would suck, but I kind of like this.
I was prepared.
We typically 40% things are not something that stand out to our palate.
Yeah.
Well, they're not very complex
most of the time.
Generally,
yeah, that and I generally haven't liked the other weird ryes they've made. That dark rye and the Caribbean rye.
Yeah, I haven't had either.
It's vastly different. Like I said, we can do a whole night of all the Basil Hayden's at some point. I have all of them, so we can do them. But yeah, we should compare it to the regular rye because I got that too. So poured that.
You got it poured and everything.
Ready to go.
Yeah, so here's the regular rye, which we'll give you guys a full review on this one as well. But we wanted to compare it since the 10's the new kid on the block.
And you said this one was how old? 7?
Well, it's 4 plus quarter cask of 7 mixed in, so they can only call it 4.
Only call it 4, yeah.
So they don't label no age statement on it, but it's 4.
I get vanilla on this, which is weird for a rye.
Yeah. And I'm finding more dill. I'm finding more mint on this one than I was on the other, even with the drop of water.
Yeah.
I get mint.
Yeah, way more mint on the 10-year than on the regular.
Oh, it's way more pickly on the palate than the 10. But of course, I've always said the older the rye, the less pickle
the more it turns into mint.
Mint.
Even I'm getting the pickle on this one.
Yep.
Yep.
This isn't Whistle Pig piggyback.
No.
I like that much better. This is not bad. It's just meh.
Well, this one just doesn't have the depth that the 10-year has.
Right. It just kind of disappears. I really like this 10-year. I'm really impressed that this is actually quite good. I think I could actually sit around and drink this. Now, granted, the price is $60 to $65, but
I was just about to ask, what's the price point difference?
This one's $60 to $65, and this one's about 45 to 50 usually. So within, if you get within $10, $15, I think I'd spend the $10 to $15 and get the 10-year personally.
There you go.
Both at 80. A little bit. It's obviously older. I mean, color-wise, not a tremendous difference. It's a little bit, but you can tell. I like the dark green label over the light green label. I still wish someone could explain to me why ryes have green labels. I've still yet to find the answer to that. Someone out there must know the answer.
I had a feeling it was two companies picked green early on, and then
they stuck with it.
Probably
everybody else just kind of followed suit.
Well, and it sticks out compared to a lot of other labels.
Yeah.
You know what it might be, and I don't know the answer to this.
Because of the green.
Old Overholt's been around forever, and they're green. I mean, I've seen bottles from the 1800s, and they're green labels. Yeah. And I wonder if that's why, because that was like the only predominant rye that was nationally distributed. It was a green label, and maybe that's why. I just don't know. I do wonder if that's why.
I think a lot of labels changed after Bullet came onto the market.
Yeah.
When Bullet Rye came onto the market and blew up like it did, I think that a lot of labels turned green at that point.
Follow suit since they blew up so much.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Oh, good question.
All right. We're going to have to do a little bit more research on that. See if we can dig something up.
Yeah.
Why are they green?
None of the distilleries know.
No one seems to know. It's weird, but whatever.
All right. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and click that notification bell. And until next time,
keep on crusading for better whiskey in your glass.
Cheers. Trying to be all fancy.
That's it. So that actually didn't suck. I'm pleasantly surprised. So it's always nice when you're surprised. Because I've had the regular 8-year bourbon, like an old one, back when they had age shapes. They were really good.
Was that the neck pour of this too?
Yeah, basically.
Nice.
Yeah, so this is only going to get better. Usually I like to drink off an ounce or two. I think we both do for review.
Yeah.
But I want to get this one out there.